Hello, my name is Natalie Salamanca, and I'm here from this course 150 Art History here from Fullerton College, and I'm here to present the early Islamic architectural traditions. So these are the three early Islamic architecture that I chose, which is the Alhambra, the Dome of the Rock, and the Great Mosque of Cordoba. So these are the early Islamic architecture, which is famous for its unique style and cultural importance. Three great examples are the Great Mosque of the Cordoba, the Dome of the Rock, and the Alhambra. These buildings shows the creative and long-lasting influence of early Islamic design. This is Addison Misner, which he is an American architect in the early 20th century. He loved the style of Spanish and Moorish buildings, which influenced his work in Florida. His designs had features like courtyards and beautiful tile work similar to the Alhambra. Misner mixed these old styles with modern needs, making early Islamic architecture popular in America. So as we continue talking about the Alhambra, this is a palace and fortress in Granada in Spain, built during the 12th century to the 14th century. It was both a royal home and military base, showing the wealth and artistry of the Nasrid rulers. The Alhambra is known for its geometric design, intricate stucco work, and creative use of water. The Court of the Lions and the Hall of the Ambassadors are especially famous for their beauty and craftsmanship. The Alhambra represented Nasrid power and reflected Islamic ideas of beauty and harmony, which is named al-Malik. He was the leader of the Umayyad Caliphate from the 685 to 705. He helped improve Islamic architecture and government. He is most famous for building the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, which showed the Umayyad religious and political ambitions. Talk about the Dome of the Rock, which was built between the year 687 and 691 by al-Malik in Jerusalem. It's a special place in Islamic traditions where people believe Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. The building has an octagon shape and a shiny gold dome. Outside it has a pretty mosaic with designs from both Byzantine and Islamic styles. Inside the dome covers a rock that's said to be where the Prophet went up. The dome is important to Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, as it's a place that they all consider sacred. To the last architect, he made Cordoba a center of power and culture. His most significant achievement was building the Great Mosque of Cordoba, a symbol of the Eremites' religious and cultural identity. Now, as we continue to talk about the Great Mosque of Cordoba, which is built in the year between 785 and 786 by Al-Rahman. The Great Mosque of Cordoba highlighted Cordoba's political and cultural importance. Originally, it was a church, then transferred first into a mosque and later to a cathedral. The mosque is renowned for its horseshoe arches and its large hall filled with columns, creating a visually stunning interior. It served as the central place for prayer, learning, and community gathering, reflecting the religious and intellectual life of medieval Cordoba. So now I wanted to compare these three architecture buildings. So the early Islamic architecture seen in the buildings like the Alhambra, the Dome of the Rock, and the Great Mosque of Cordoba had such a huge impact on the later styles of Europe. For example, the Alhambra, Muqarnas, the Dome of the Rock geometric designs, and the Cordoba's horseshoes arches influenced European Gothic and Renaissance architecture. These Islamic designs like arches and patterns were adopted by European builders. These used them in the cathedrals and palaces, blending different cultural styles. This mix helped connect and inspired Architectural ideas cross regions and cultures, leaving a lasting influence on buildings were designed and decorated in Europe. Now, lastly, I wanted to jump into conclusion and personally wrote that in addition to being an architectural amazing things, the Alhambra, the Dome of the Rock, and the Great Mosque of Cordoba represent the richness and inventiveness of early Islamic culture. Both Islamic and Western cultural approaches have been fondly influenced by their unique characteristic and the way they have been integrated different creative and architectural traditions. These buildings, which capture the splendor and history of early Islamic architecture and its worldwide influence, never cease to astound or amaze. Now, finally, lastly, I wanted to jump into these articles that I found information from these three beautiful architectures from the early Islamic times. And thank you.